Hey YouTube, this is Cookie Man or Comet Brawl, and last night during an 8-hour Skyrim marathon, I found out how to make some really fucking powerful weapons in Skyrim. Now, what you're gonna need to have is 100 enchanting, and all the perks up through the middle there. It's also good to have a really high smithing skill. It's not necessary, but I'd say I really recommend it. And the other thing you'll need is a pretty high alchemy. You can do this with something as low as about 30, whatever the requirement is for that perk, but I say it's best to have 100. Alright, now the first item you're going to need is a set of clothes you can use for this. You're going to need a ring, amulet, hat or helmet, bracers or gloves, and a shirt or some armor. You're going to need to put a smithing and alchemy enchantment on all of them. Now the smithing can actually not go on the head, and the alchemy can't go on the body piece, so you can feel free to put any other enchantment you want there. I'd love to make a tutorial on how to make those and enchant them. You kind of need a little bit of alchemy for that as well, but I used up all my grand and black soul gems before I made this video, so you'll have to look elsewhere for a video on how to do that. Sorry guys. Alright, so now you have a short shopping list of alchemy ingredients you need to have. They include blisterwood, glowing mushroom, saber cat tooth, and spriggan sap. The tooth and the sap are pretty rare drops from kind of rare animals, so you're going to want to go with the blisterwood and the glowing mushroom. Blisterwood is a really common mushroom. You can find it in most caves or in crypts. And glowing mushroom you can find almost always wherever you find Falmer. So look in Dwemer ruins and places like that. Next, you're going to want to find your nearest workbench and grindstone, usually near a blacksmith. What you're going to do is put on all of your now enchanted crafting clothing. The funny thing is, some of the enchantments don't seem to stack quite right. On smithing, if you're wearing a bunch of smithing things, they won't stack. But if you're wearing them during alchemy, you're going to have a really powerful potion. Yeah, 130%. Now let's see what it's like before and after you take the potion. Now this is before. This is what everything should look like about for you. I've got 100 in smithing and I'm wearing the enchanted clothing. So you're going to see something kind of like this before you take your potion. It's nothing that special. I've got 100 in light armor and the perks that will double the armor rating for light armor. So that's why all the heavy armor is weaker. Now let's take a look at what it looks like after you take your potion. Drink it down, you cum guzzler. Alright, when you get back to your workbench, you're gonna see some pretty fucking huge changes in how much you can improve your weapons and armor. Now, I know you're waiting for these weapons to come around so you can see how really fucking powerful they can get. Just hold your horses, you little bitch. Anyway, you can pretty much tell that all these are really way better than last time. I'm that kind of freak that likes to collect all the special shit, so that's why I've got all the like the Pale Guard shield, the Solitude Guard, Riften. I think there's a town I'm missing. I've even got all the Dragon Priest masks. Yep, I even do that when I play New Vegas to collect all the unique weapons. I'm that kind of collector freak. I love a complete collection. Alright, so now you're gonna see what all the base damage is for these weapons before I upgrade them on the grindstone. Now the blade sword is technically a steel sword, according to the game, so you can upgrade it about as much as you can a steel sword. And for the rest of these, just look at how much damage they do, remember how much it is, so you can see what the difference is after I upgrade them at the grindstone. We'll see how much damage they do before taking the potion and after. An upgrade right now would bring the blade sword up to 101 damage, and funny enough, that would also bring the Daedric dagger up to 101 damage. The dagger, even though it has a higher rate of attack, you can swing it a lot faster. It has only about 2/3 the range of a sword, and all these other weapons you can just look at. These swords like Eduge and the blade sword are actually just steel swords statistically. So now let's take that potion. When you get back to the grindstone after taking your potion, you'll notice what is actually a pretty fucking big difference. That Daedric dagger now does 182 damage. So does that blade sword. And that brings me to a kind of interesting topic. some of these weapons seem to improve a lot less than others do. If you compare steel weapons and, say, Daedric artifacts, you'll notice that the steel ones don't actually tend to be all that worse than the Daedric ones. Now, if you'll take a look, Baldur's Lucky Dagger, that's 164 damage on a steel dagger. Now, those Daedric ones did 182 damage. That's only a difference of 18 damage in the end after some pretty large modifications to smithing. So it may or may not be worth it to you to use some of those higher-end weapons like Daedric. Sorry kids, but the only way to actually get about 270 damage per hit off of a steel sword is with a really high-end one-handed fortify enchantment. I'm pretty sure you could do that two-handed as well. You can do it on boots, which is weird. Now, even though it says my armor rating is 1,687, Bethesda capped the armor rating at somewhere in the mid-600s, so all that extra is actually worth nothing. Like I said earlier, for some reason the Daedric artifacts don't improve all that much. Now, if we go and look at some of the others, you'll see Dawnbreaker in a few seconds. But Dawnbreaker only goes up to 161 damage. That's not even as good as a steel sword. So I'm not sure if it's actually worth upgrading all the Daedric artifacts. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave you for the rest of the video. Cheers. Actually, I do have something to close the video with. If you could, please do not post the same information on other channels such as your own. I am a fairly small channel and I would appreciate it if you would, although this is cliche, rate, comment, and subscribe. It would be really nice if you could also name my two Daedric daggers. I've been trying to think of a really good name for them, and all I've been able to come up with is something shitty like Alpha and Omega or Luna and Celestia, if you get the reference, but don't go after me if you do. Anyway, keep it on this channel to spread this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.